Hi, welcome back to Neural Splendor. Today I want to talk about how much oil usage is acceptable. The reason oil usage is important today is because of after treatment. Before after treatment came along, if you were burning a little oil, really it was how much can I put up with before I'm going to get it fixed. Today it's how much problem is it going to cause me in my after treatment system. Cummins has a very nice tool that will help you to know how much oil you can safely use and not be too concerned it's going to shorten your after treatment life. So let's take a look at that tool and how it works. This is a screenshot of the tool that you can use. It's built into the Cummins site that's known as quickserve.com. You have to be given access to that site by Cummins. It is for dealers and distributors. They used to allow an owner-operator or someone that owned a couple trucks to access the site and just access the information for those engines. I'll talk about QuickServe Online another time, but that site is nothing short of amazing. So this is the tool, and as you can see, I've already pointed it to an X15 2350 116B. That's a 2018 engine that's in our fleet. And notice that when you're evaluating oil consumption, you're looking at measured fuel economy and you're looking at measured oil consumption. Now, I just put an example in here. If we're getting 7 miles a gallon, 7.2, and we're using 1 gallon of oil per 3,800 miles, that's too much. We would need to investigate and do some kind of repair to get that usage down, because if we don't, we're going to have after treatment problems. Now, the next slide is going to be the same engine, the same miles per gallon of oil, but we're going to change fuel mileage. And let's look at what happens. Now, the yellow bar on the bottom is what tells us there's a problem. When you click the evaluate button on the right, you either get a green or a yellow. We got a yellow in this case. Let's see what happens when we change the fuel economy. Now, if you remember, before we were using 1 gallon of oil per 3,800 miles. And I've left that value the same. But I've changed the fuel economy from 7.2 down to 6.2. And as you can see, when I clicked evaluate, now our oil consumption is acceptable and no action is recommended. The harder the engine has to work, the more fuel it's going to use on an average. So if the engine works very hard, it's going to use more oil, and it is acceptable. So this is the only way that you should properly evaluate whether or not you have an oil consumption problem. And you can evaluate all the engines with after treatment using this tool, and this will be your litmus test for whether you need to do something or you can just run it as it is. Most trucks today on the dash will tell you the average fuel mileage. If you don't have that, if you can get somebody to scan that in your trip information, it'll tell you the average estimated fuel mileage. That's the number you'll use in measured fuel economy. The evaluation tool is inside of QuickServe. If you don't have access, find someone that does, a dealer, a distributor. I'm sure if you called, someone would be able to just go in and put that in for you and let you know if you have a problem and need to go in. Remember, oil consumption can be external leaks, which don't affect your after treatment, or oil burning in the engine when it shouldn't be burning internally, which will cause problems with the after treatment. So always use common sense. See you next time on Neural Splendor.